sometimes you just have to contribute in other ways, and ways that are really impactful, and they influence and shape the branch. And oftentimes, this person has ref more than anyone has fought. And they consider him the voice of the Streetbeefs West Coast branch. And that is Sam K. Hey, beauty!
Get off his neck!
Hey, hands are free! Hands are free! Hey.
It feel good. I ain't gonna lie, it feel good.
I didn't even know, by the way.
Hey. I got a jacket too!
He just
I got a jacket too!
Put some sauce on that jacket.
So y'all put me on the spot. I love this community, man. I love the fighters. I love what we do. And, you know, I'm really passionate about doing this, you know. And much like what DTP was saying, you know, this community has helped me grow as a person, as a man, as a fighter. It's helped me stick to my my discipline, you know what I'm saying? So without Streetbeefs West Coast, man, I'd be in a dark place. So I appreciate everyone here. And,
love you, Sam K.
Thank y'all. Sam K.
I got so caught up, I almost forgot I was hosting in that whole thing. But welcome back, everybody. I'm Jay, and I'm here with the one and only
Sam K. And shit, man, we got a phenomenal guest in the building. You may know him as the Saint, but we now know him as Shorty in the building.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Thanks for having me.
What's good? What's good? And I say people may know him as the Saint because he's got one fight as the Saint, and then his second fight recently as Shorty.
It was 2 fights.
Two?
I fought Dark Lord. My first fight, I fought Dark Lord.
Okay.
And, you know, you cornered him that day too. I still remember that. You cornered him. It was Dark Lord, and then it would be Tiny Tank. And then from there, that's when I fought Bushido. You know, I think it was time for me to reinvent myself and really come in as a new person with a new personality and as a new fight name.
Damn.
well, Sam K, because since I did a bad job of hosting and forgot to play it right when we came in because I got caught up in your Hall of Fame, we have a clip from Shorty that we should play for everybody.
Let's go.
Goosebumps.
Bro, I literally was watching your fight and had to rewind it a couple times because I'm like, did he hit it? Like you just effortlessly hit him when he went down, and I was like, I didn't even see the hit that put him down. And then the last time, you literally, and I don't think it was intentional at all. I don't think you were showboat, but the way you walked away was just priceless. I was like, bro, he just got a moment, like an unintentional moment when he walked away from that last hit.
Nah, man. Honestly, me neither. Like, it feels so surreal to me because I've never dropped anybody in my life. You know, I've never thought I'd be able to have that strength like that. I don't even think it was effortlessly, to be honest. Like, I just did a combo uppercut hook, and I didn't know he was gonna drop like that. To be honest, you know, at the end of the day, respect to Bushido's dad. Shout out to him. You know, it hurt me.
Shows the power though, because your power, that's all I'm saying is it showed your power because I had to go back and watch because it looked like you just hit him, and then I was like, damn, he hit him. Like,
Nah, man, like I said, I didn't even know I had strength like that. It was my first time like seeing someone dropping someone like that. And to me, it felt so surreal. Like I still remember processing, like, oh, is this all a dream? Is this a dream? No, he can't drop like that. No way, dude. Like, is this really happening right now? Like, it was a surreal moment for me, you know. And after that, I was just like, you know what, get back. You know, you're in the fight. You're in the fight right now. Get back to it. You know. So I just zoomed right back into it. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, he got up. Okay, keep going. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, man, you had a hell of a performance. You know, sometimes we see fighters, they go and they do the name switch, and it doesn't really make sense, or they don't really, you know,
Live up to
do
it.
they don't live up to the transformation, right? You fully transformed into a full-fledged boxer. I mean, I was highly impressed from your first performance to this performance here. Drastic change, you know, and I think you're the only fighter who can say they fought both our branch leaders, Bushido Zed and Tiny Tank. So that's a hell of a stat in itself.
Yeah, I actually started thinking you guys are on a plot against me. You know, I'm having to fight all the admins from Tang to Bushido, maybe Weddle, and then WA. I was
That'd
like,
be
damn,
crazy.
that'd be
That'd be
crazy.
crazy.
but then you have to travel around. Then you have to travel around, and you got to go get Fire Chicken and Scarface, and then
Almost definitely, you know.
Lobster and all of them. You got to go get them.
Almost definitely, you know, if I could get to fight in Scrapyard one day, shit, you know, if God lets me do it, I'm all for it. Let's go for it, you know. You know, we're
And I don't know what anybody weighs, and I'm already matching them up. I'm like, fuck weight, we're just throwing them in there.
Almost definitely.
Street beef slayer over here.
Nah, man, you still gotta live up to. There's still training to be done, you know.
Yeah,
I like boxing.
Yeah.
You always, I never stop learning when I'm in the sport. When I'm in the gym or something, I never stop learning. I always learn new stuff. I just learned how to be a southpaw. I'm still learning to it, but I'm learning to adjust myself to it. You know, and that's really hard, bro. When you're just so used to being an orthodox or just being in the right position, going left is like, oh, that's new to me, bro. Like I'm still learning to adjust myself to it. If that makes sense to me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a forever learning game. You know, you never truly master, you know, the fight game, in my opinion. You know, there's always something to learn, something to adjust. And yeah, man, I mean, you learned, and you've definitely made those adjustments from the Tank fight to the Bushido Zez fight. And you know, one thing I noticed, which was very critical in my opinion, was you seemed very comfortable. You seemed very poised. You were letting your hands go. You were letting the combinations go. And something that you know makes me wonder is, like, were you phased by one, it's the 5-year anniversary. We're at a huge event. 2, you're fighting a branch leader yet again. You know, 3, you know, we're coming off of, you know, the Tank loss. Like, you know, on paper, there's a lot going against you, stacked up against you, and your performance said otherwise. You know, it was, you know, kind of like how Bud walked through Canelo.
It hurt me, but you know what? He got outboxed, bro. Let's just facts. He got outboxed.
We'll get on that later, but you know, yeah, just talk to us about that, man.
First thing I want to say, you know, shout out Team 50-50, you know, the operatives camp. They got me right. Right after the Tank fight, you know, everybody was telling me, hey, man, you just went to Vegas just to get your butt whooped. You got whooped. You need to him. You know, everybody was telling me, like, oh, yeah, you know, you should stop boxing. Stop doing this and that. And honestly, to me, I was just like, I'm not going to stop boxing, yo. You know, I love boxing. You know, I've been doing it since I was 12. I gave myself an age gap from it. But I came back, and you know what? I love boxing, bro. Why am I going to stop? You know, people are going to criticize no matter what. So, and once I met, you know, I met nobody. I met businessman actually, and he invited me to the camp. My first time going, you know, I loved it. It was cool. I met Sadly, I met Lycan, and from there, I just started, like, you know, they started telling me, you know, hey, you know, come to practice more often, and I did, you know. So from there, before the Tank fight, I wasn't part of 50-50 until after the Tank fight, you know? So from there, after the loss, I was like, I need to get my training back. I did slack off here and there, but the beginning of 2025, literally, I joined the boxing gym. Shout out Coulda Hates Boxing Gym. They really helped me they helped me be in the boxing gym where I was more active. I was more active with the punching bag, speed bag. I was getting my combinations right, and I stopped smoking. I did stop smoking. I stopped doing a lot of stuff, a lot of bad habits that I would think just for this fight. I took my camp very serious for this one. And I called Anthony that day after my sparring. My first time sparring in that gym, I called Anthony. I called nobody. I was like, you know what, dude? Like, I'm gonna join the boxing gym. I'm gonna be committed to it. He's like, you don't gotta tell me that, dude. Like, do it. Like, you don't have to tell me. Do it. Like, you know what you're gonna do, so go for it. And that's what I did. I stayed committed. I even went to the school, like my college, they offer like a boxing class right there. And I joined, and I was more active with it throughout the week. When I wouldn't go to the gym, I'd be right there. So it was constantly being active, punching bag, jump rope nonstop. And I gave myself a routine. I'll start studying, Pitbull Cruz, start studying, little like Canelo, certain stuff. But I think my downfall for it was that I would try to do stuff that they would do, that professionals try to do, and it wouldn't work out for me. I think that's what it is. I would see videos and I would mentally train, but I wouldn't physically train for it. So, and one of my biggest downfalls was that mentally freezing up for it. Because that's a thing, yo. Like, mentally freezing up in your fight, you're just like, oh damn, like knowing yourself, you're like, oh well, what am I gonna do? Do I throw it? Do I not throw it? Is it gonna catch me? Like, overthinking it and then freezing up, and you're just like, okay, boom, I lost. That was one of my downfalls, freezing up also. And honestly, after that was my main thing, was breaking that cycle from it and keep pushing. Like, the bell hasn't stopped ringing, so you shouldn't stop. So that was my thing, was if the bell hasn't stopped ringing, you keep going. Even if you really like that person, you keep going. A fight's a fight. You're both, he wants to hurt you, so you have to hurt him back. If that makes sense,
Absolutely. And real quick, because I think you're one of the very few fighters that I've actually witnessed not only speak on it, but actually do it, where they go from this nervous, timid, thinking in their head, and and not able to fight, to actually getting out and breaking through that and performing. What did you do specifically? What did you find helped you get through that? Because it definitely seemed like you were nervous or in your head in the Tank fight, and we didn't see that at all in the Zed fight. So what was preparation? How do we do that?
Honestly, for that, it was pretty simple, because for the Tank fight and the Dark Lord fight, I wasn't training. I didn't take my training like serious.
Okay.
I did not take those fights serious, even though I knew the Tank fight was gonna be my toughest fight. No matter what, it was my toughest fight. He really did me like that. And I respect Tank. No matter what, I respect all respects to Tank. Like, he really did that. And one of the things was that I froze up in that fight. I wasn't tired. I froze up.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Dark Lord. I was just doing some weird Canelo, trying to whoop everything, and he ended up getting me. No matter what, he ended up getting me, and I froze up, and I just took the knee, and that's when I was like, okay, yeah, like, and I started overthinking everything. Like, damn, do I even want to go back? What if it happens the same thing? It is even for me. Like, there was a certain thing where I was already double thinking everything. Like, and I don't know if I should go fight, all that. But what I did, I joined Team 50-50. They got me right. Anthony, Coach Nobody, Coach Raven, Coach Lycan, they really told me, like, they were throwing me little things where it's like, this is a game. This is boxing. You're going to get hit. If you don't like to get hit, this isn't the sport for you. And that was one of the things that I started doing. You know, when I first started with them, sparring sadly, sparring more, sparring businessman, all of them, they were like, they would get me. You know, they'll start tagging me and all that, and I wouldn't keep my hands up. That was one of also the big things that when you freeze up, it's because you also don't have your hands up. When you're fighting, you always have to have your hands up, no matter what.
Mhm.
And that was one of the things I wouldn't have my hands up. And it stuck to my head when Coach Nobody would tell me, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. And it stuck to my head, even through the fight then. That was my main thing, keep your hands up. And don't gas out. You know, also gassing out has a huge part of it when you freeze up because you're throwing all your energy for nothing. You know, you're missing and you're getting more tired and it freezes up a person. You're gonna freeze up when you're tired. You're gonna freeze up when you're just not even blocking your face. So it's like, how are you gonna break this mental part of it if you're not even putting in the work? So that's what I started doing. I went to the boxing gym. I started like having a little, how do you say it, like not mental crisis, but also like a mental fight between myself.
Mhm.
I was hit the bag. It's like, if you don't stop right now, if you stop right now, I'll hit the bag nonstop, 30 seconds, boom, boom. The last 30 seconds go all out. And I would tell myself, if you stop right now, your opponent's gonna win. Your opponent's gonna beat you right here. And even when I would do mid work, I would get tired. My coach would tell me, shout out Coach Juan also. He would tell me, is that really how you hit hard? Is that really what you hit? That's how strong you hit? Come on, man, you could do better. And I would start doing it and I would be tired. I'd get tired. And then he'd tell me little breaks. And then from there, I'm like, all right. And I would tell myself, like, damn, dude, if you stop right now, your opponent's not gonna stop. Like, you're gonna freeze up and you're gonna lose again. And that's when it was like, I need to do better. And I started getting more confident. I started training more often. I started shadow boxing more often. And I was telling myself, you're not gonna lose. You're gonna go in there and you're not gonna lose. And till this day, people still doubted me. People were doubting me, were telling me, what's the point of you going to Vegas? You're just gonna lose. There's no point in you going. Everybody doubted me. My coworkers doubted me. A few friends doubted me. So,
I'm gonna be honest. I had
yeah,
Zed. I said,
exactly,
man,
yeah,
Zed gonna go. He gonna walk through him. He gonna walk through him.
yeah. Everybody was telling me like, yeah, like, you know what? He's not gonna do it. You're not gonna win. And in my head, I was like, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna prove everybody wrong. And I even talked to Anthony, and I was talking to the whole team that day too. I was like, damn, you're like, everyone's proving me wrong. And they're like, don't worry about it. You know what you're working for. You're gonna go and you're gonna do your thing. You got this. And I was just like, I got this. And I was praying, bro. I was really praying nonstop. I prayed. I was like, give me strength, give me courage, and give me speed. But most of all, please,
Give me speed.
like, please do not let me freeze up. Most of all, do not let me freeze up. And that's what I did. I prayed and I was like, and I'm gonna be honest, even during the Bushido fight, there was a point where I was like, he caught me with an uppercut and then a hook, and I was like, boom, boom. And from there I was like, oh, and I was starting to freeze. But I was like, in my head, I was like, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, bro. Shake it off. You're good, shake it off. And that's when I was like, all right, come back to the fight, bro. And I started like trying to find openings for him, and it ended up happening,
Yeah.
Oh, I like his background.
One thing I noticed, not only were you punching, throwing combinations, but a huge difference between your previous fights and this fight was you were coming forward. You had forward pressure. It wasn't a lot of unnecessary, sidestepping and dancing and maneuvering of footwork. You came forward on a mission, and
He believed in me. Coach, no, everybody believed in me. The team believed in me. The team believed in me, and they told me, we believe in you, and you know what you're going to do. You're going to represent, and you're good to go. So, shout out Coach Nobody. Mad love to that man, He really got me right.
Shout out to 50-50, Nobody, your coaches and your team, because, a lot of times that's really what we need to go to that next level. We can only get so far on our own. A lot of times you need that helping hand. And you're proof that works.
I'll say just as a fan also, like Sam K knows you. So like he's met you, he's watched you fight live, which is big deal. And like, you know, the guys from the West Coast, you know them. Like as a fan, all I can say is when I watched your fight against Bushido Zed, I didn't see any of what you were talking about of being like timid or freezing up. So like whatever you did, it worked, and keep it up. And all I can say is just from listening to you, I think you got the right mindset. Like, and that's half the battle right there.
Yep.
Yeah, man, that's a really bad struggle right now. Like it's a lot of fighters struggle with that, where the mental part of it really affects them in the fact like if you're not really mentally right, then you should get yourself mentally fit for this, because a fight's a fight. Your opponent is going in to hurt you. He's not going to be friends with you. You're going in to fight, and that's how it should be. So, and honestly, like I'm gonna bring this person up because I know he struggles with it. You know, Illuminate the State, he struggles with it, and you know, seeing his death sentence fight and seeing his Slim fight, and I saw him like he just like gave up on himself. I was like, damn man, like I should reach out to him, like really tell him like, bro, you got this, you know. And I even said it, I put it out there like, bro, if you're gonna go with some real ones, go with people who are gonna really lift you up. Don't go with that Mohawk guy, bro. Like he was just there, you know, he was just there, just telling him like, just letting it happen or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, man, you got to have the mental, and you know, much of what you were just saying earlier, which is, you know, fighters we gain confidence through committing to the training, you know, committing to the drills, committing to, you know, those hard nights, those long, you know, early mornings, you know, those long runs. You know, that's really what makes us, you know, who we are, and it helps builds us, you know. And you know, the more we commit to that, you know, the better that we become. You know, I definitely believe that, and I see that in you as well. You know, and having the mind frame to go after that. You know, not a lot of people have, man. Not a lot of people have. You know, so. I'm wondering, what do you have your eyes on next, man? Because that's a big win. You know, Bushido Zed is a pretty good boxer,
Most definitely.
branch leader. You know, and you got the dub. So,
Who do I see myself? I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I know it was out there, it was put out there with two people. You know, I kind of did tell Super Gremlin. You know, Super Gremlin.
okay,
This because with me and him, I see him as, you know, he fought Blanco.
yeah,
You know, he's similar skill level to me. He was the same height. It would be a good inside the pocket type fight. So that'd be a really good fight to see. But
that would be interesting.
you know, 619 hinted for the Diesel fight, and I'm interested in that too. You know, anybody. But if I'm gonna be honest, I don't really want to put myself to see who, because I wanna be surprised with it. Because if not, I feel like I'm just gonna train for that person, and that's just gonna be it. What if sadly, you know, that person just doesn't come, or he just, you know, has personal things happen, and he just like, oh, you know, I can't show up, and I matched up with someone else, and then turns out like, oh, you know, I put it as, oh, I trained for this person, I didn't train for this person. Like, how is that gonna work out for me? So for me, as of right now, to answer your question, just like whoever just comes, just go for it. I'm all ready for it. I'm trained. I'm gonna keep training no matter what, because in this sport, you never stop learning, you never stop grinding, and that's the whole point of it. That's the whole love for.
All right.
Two more until before the season fight.
Yeah, I could definitely, I could see the fight, but yeah, down the line. But that Gremlin fight, that sounds like a really good one. You know, as far as possibly being a soon. Yeah, Diesel's a little bit up there in skill as well as you know, stature in the West Coast.
No, most definitely. Yeah, you know, you always gotta build up your ranks that way. Like, I'm not gonna come in as a new person to be like, I want to fight this person because I feel like I could win him. You gotta build yourself out there. Like, you're not gonna really like get what you want. Like, bro, there's people like these people. like yourself, everybody in the West Coast, they build up themselves. Like, you know, it's just not like, oh, I'm just coming in and fight whoever I want. Like, they've grinded for this. They've grinded opponent for opponent for opponent to get where they're at. That's why they're all Hall of Famers. That's why you're a Hall of Famer. Everybody, you know? Like,
Hey, don't get me wrong. The Diesel fight, I could see that happening down the line. Like, I could see that making a lot of sense down the line. You know, just timing wise, you know, the Gremlin fight makes sense now. But yeah, man, and I didn't see that one coming. You know, you guys both, you know, around the same height, but different styles. Yeah, that would be interesting. That'd be interesting.
The fan in me, because I seen Bushido fight him, and I like watching El Shorty fight in the pocket. Let's get Hell on Wheels on a fucking plane, and let's get him down there, because that would be a banger.
Ooh.
Hell on Wheels.
Yeah. Hell on Wheels is no joke, man.
That's in the pocket. I watched Bushido go against him, so I'm like, I got some compared to as a fan. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. But I do also get that doesn't get you one step closer to Diesel or anybody else like that. It's just fun.
Definitely. You know, like I said, I'm gonna keep working. You know, when the fight happens, it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be all ready for it. My team and I are gonna be ready for it, and we're just gonna go in. You know.
What was your take on the anniversary?
Oh, bro, I love the anniversary, yo. You know, I love the anniversary. It was good seeing everybody. You know, it was my first time meeting Bushido actually that time. You know, I've always talked to him. You know, he's always showing love. So that was my first time meeting him. And I even told him, I was like, damn, bro, like, it's hard because I don't want to fight you because I like you, bro. You're cool, dude. You know, and then I saw you come in later. I saw a lot of stars up there, you know. Like, I saw Venom Black the first time. It was the first time I ever see him. I was like, damn, this dude's a person. What the fuck? You know? And
Sam K, did you have that moment, because you've been around so long with the West Coast, right? Whereas I kind of had weird moments where when I was at the Hot Box, right? You meet people like, and you're like, oh fuck. Like I watched Free Smoke fight how many times we talked on the podcast, but now there he is holding this fucking belt in his hand, right? Like, or I see Talk walking up with his belt just around his neck, or I like Jay Gotham gives me a hug, you know, Viking Warrior gives me a hug. I'm like, this is really weird. This is really cool. Like, did you have that moment, or because you were there since the beginning, you didn't really get that moment?
I mean, like starstruck. Yeah, like early on. There's a few guys that I still that I interact with all the time, and I still get starstruck. Like I talk to Wedo every day, and I still get starstruck around Wedo. Wade, I'll be at Wade's house, starstruck like a mug, talking to Wade.
And that house, bro, I seen the training meet. That fucking yard is beautiful, man. That yard is beautiful.
It is. Believe it or not, I wouldn't say I was starstruck, but I definitely, and this is back in the day, when I first saw Shinigami, I was like,
okay,
oh, snap, that's Shinigami.
And bro, I was just fanboying the whole time. I was like,
that's him over there. You know?
Okay, there.
Let me see. Who's some other people?
Well, I think you already know this, Sam K, but I told you, like, one of my favorite Streetbeefs West Coast fighters, I get to watch in person, right? And then I fanboy out a little bit because it was Battleborn. I was like, dude, I just love his energy, and like he'll kick somebody in the chest and be like, you know, and like, yeah. And then I get to watch him fight Crazy Legs, and I'm like, this is fucking nuts, bro. I love this.
That's my boy, man. Yeah, but it's also like, I don't really get starstruck like that, but like, let's say if I was, right, if I'm cornering someone like that, if I'm in cornering mode, that negates any starstruck. Like, for instance, like the first time I met 619, I couldn't really acknowledge him as 619 because I was busy cornering somebody. You know what I mean? So like my fan brain was like, oh, that's 619. That's him right there, you know? But then it was like, nah, we're in the middle of something right here, right now. You know what I mean? So like me and him kind of had an exchange, like we knew each other, like it wasn't like, oh man, what's up, man? Great to meet you, as much as I would have liked it to be that. So yeah, a lot of times when I have met people, like when I first started showing up, I'm showing up with my team, my fight team. So I'm already in this battle mind frame of like us versus y'all. You know what I mean? So no matter who's here, I'm kind of in the sense of like it don't matter who's here. You know what I mean? We're here for war. You know what I mean? So trying to see, man. Somebody.
What was your first event? Free Smoke wanted to know. He said it's killing him because he can't remember.
I can't remember either, to be honest.
That's when you know you've been to a lot of events, though, because you go to every event. Like, you make sure you're there. So, like, shit got to start blending together, too. It's probably hard to remember, like, what event you ref something at.
Like, to answer that, I have to remember, like, my first time meeting people. And you meet, you know what I mean? Like, I've met the same people so many times at different events. It's like,
man, that's crazy, yo. I remember my first event, yo. Like, it is crazy because the first person I met was the first person I ended up fighting, and that was Dark Lord. And I didn't think I was gonna fight him. I know, honestly, take that back. I knew I was gonna fight him because something in me was telling me. I was watching, I'm a huge fan of Streetbeefs, like Coach, man. I'm up to date with all the fighters. I'm up to date with a lot of the fighters from the Hot Box and the Smoke Ranch. And you know what? I saw the fight where he fought No Love, and I was just looking at him. I was just looking at the video, and I even showed my lady. I was like, "Imagine I fight that guy." She's like, "Damn, I don't know about that." And then the next day, when it comes down to when we get there on the January anniversary event, like Wade comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, okay." And at the time I was going by Saint. He's like, "All right, Saint. So I have 2 matches for you. One, you're either gonna fight Dark Lord or you're gonna fight Blanco." And I was weighing at 172 at that time. So I was like, "Who's Dark Lord?" And then he's like, "The guy who's bald and all tatted up." And I look to my left. I looked to my left. I was like, "Oh, damn." And at that time in my head, I was like, "Bro, I was not trained. I wasn't even there to like really, but I just wanted to go have a good time." But I made the drive, so I was like, "You know what? Let's just do it. Let's get it over with. You're gonna, let's make the trip worth it."
Yeah.
I get there. And then he comes up to me, and I'm over here like, "Damn, this dude's tall as hell, bro." And I talk to Wade, and I tell him, "Hey, man, you have any tips how I could beat him?" And then from there, I talked to Buzzkill.
What did he say? What did he say?
He was like, "Honestly, just get in the pocket. Try to get him in the pocket. Use uppercuts, and you're gonna be fine. Try to keep your distance, and if you can't, just get in the pocket. He's gonna try to push you off." And if he doesn't push you off, then, just get in there and do your thing, have fun. And I was like,
yeah, that's his thing. Have fun.
Got it. Got it. And then I go to Buzzkill, and I talk to Buzzkill. I was chopping up with Buzzkill right there, and he tells me, "Hey, bro, do I know you from somewhere?" I'm like, "Nah, but I'll be your new homie, bro." And he was like, "All right, cool." We start chopping it up. And from there, I tell him, he's like, "Hey, have you fought?" He asked me, "Have you fought?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." He's like, "Do you know who you're going to fight?" I tell him, "Yeah, I'm gonna fight that dude right there." And he looks at him. He's like, "Oh, him?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I told him, "Do you know how I could beat him?" He's like, "All right, this is what you're gonna do." I try it. It doesn't work out. As soon as he told me, it went in one ear and it got out the other. And I'm like, damn, there you go, bro. And then I go straight into doing some weird, trying to be some Canelo stuff that doesn't even work out for me, bro. And he ends up getting me. And then I see the BDW saying, "Bro, he's gonna waste all his energy out. He's just doing all the hopping around." And I'm over here like, in my head, I was like, "Yeah, he's right, bro." I don't know what to do. I'm like, and that's when I was like, I freeze up, and I'm like, "Yeah, he got me." Simple as that.
No, but you learn more from the L's too, right? Like, because I remember I wrestled up until like 9th grade, and then I did some opens in high school, but hockey was at the same time. But I remember being younger, and nobody could, like, when you were in like 7th, 8th grade, if you could head and hip somebody, you could just win, right? So I learned how to do this head and hip all the time. And then all of a sudden I wrestled a dude who that shit did not work with. And I was like, "Oh, I better learn something else. Like, this shit ain't going to work no more." Like,
what do I do?
Yeah, it kind of was like that. You're like deer in headlights because you're so used to having like 3-4 things you can do really well, and that works when you're younger, and then you get older and motherfuckers are good, and you're like, oh, that shit ain't gonna work no more.
Damn, yo, that's crazy. But honestly with you, I did learn a lot from my losses. Like I learned a lot. When you're fighting a tall fighter, get inside the pocket. Don't play it smart. I learned it. The one that I really learned the most was a tank fight. I learned mostly a lot from that fight. I took my training more serious after that fight. So I do thank him for that.
What was it like when you when that fight first got announced?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I'll just put it out there, bro. We try to keep it a secret. He told me ahead of time. He was like, "Hey, did you sign up for the event?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I did." And I was thinking I was gonna fight JoJo. I was thinking I'm a box JoJo.
Okay.
You know, someone around my weight class, like my skill level. He like,
Mhm.
"Hey, bro, I choose you." And I'm like, "Oh,
You're the Pokemon of the month.
yeah." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, if you're cool with it, let's do it. I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." I'm like, "Let's do it, bro. Let's do it. Let's go have some fun with it." And he's like, "Yeah, you know, I like your style. You know, we could really make a good fight out of it." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it." And from there, he kept up with me, telling me, "Hey, you know how much you weigh." We were at first trying to go up at 170, like 175 to 170 around there. And I was aiming towards it. I was already at 170, 177. And then he was telling me, "Oh, you know, I'm kind of struggling, like making that weight. Like, you want to meet, like, do you want to, like, we could do like a catch fight or something like that, like where I go 180 and you go 170." I'm like, "You know what? Stay at that way, bro. I'll just start eating more. I'll catch up to you." And I just started eating more, and I was like, "F it, bro." We ended up weighing like similar. He comes in at 184. I come in at 185, and he kept up to me with like, you know, "How's your training? How's this and that?" And I was just telling him like, it's going good, bro." But in reality, it wasn't. Like I wasn't. I wasn't for me, bro. I was just training. I wasn't training. I didn't really take the fight serious as I thought I would. I started training like 2 weeks ahead.
And why is that? Because we know Tank is a threat.
Yes.
So why was that?
Like for me, I was just like, well, how do I say? It was like, oh well, I go to the camp. I'm pretty training, kind of not, but I was how do you say it? I was thinking to myself like, oh, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. You know, I learned from the Dark Lord fight. Like I got it. I think I'll be fine. But no, bro, like I really messed myself up that time. Like I really mentally messed myself up. I was like, yeah, you're not good, bro. Like training does come for the outcome for it. You need to train to get where you want to be. And that fight really taught me a lot. It taught me to like really put in your work. Like don't think just because you're watching a boxing fight you're gonna be fine. Like no, bro. Like you really have to put in work. You want to be where you're at. That's what you have to do. And after the fight, I was like, I need to take my training a lot more serious. And that's what I did. I went more serious for this camp than I've ever done. And I'm gonna continue doing that because you know what? After this, I was just like, well, who am I gonna fight? Am I gonna go with someone like probably like Bloody Raps level, which I doubt it, but you know, if it happens, it happens. But that was my thing. Like, keep training, start training. Like, don't get too comfortable where you're at, because once you become comfortable, that's your downfall.
Facts.
Complacency is the enemy of great.
Most definitely. I was just being humble with it at the end. I was like, after the fight, I just became very, very humble for it.
Well, you know, that'd be a good fight too. Bloody Raps. I wasn't even thinking about that one, but for sure that would be a good one. You've mentioned a few fighters. I wanted to ask, who are some of the influences fighter wise that you've watched or looked up to over the years?
Like professionally or Streetbeefs West Coast?
Both.
If we were talking professionally, I would say Pitbull Cruz. I love Pitbull. I'm a big fan of Pitbull Cruz. Triple G, you know, Canelo, obviously. I I'm a big fan of what was his name? Oh, Fernando Vargas. His son, I like his sons a lot, but though he took the loss, that's his fault though. That was his fault right there. I'm a big fan of the young one, Emiliano. He's really really good. I like his style, and that's honestly that was his style was the reason why I wanted to become southpaw.
Hmm.
Him becoming southpaw and back to orthodox and going southpaw, switching stances, really like opened my eyes. I was like, damn, if I could do that, I'm able to switch people. Like I'm able to trick people with this. I'm gonna become more lethal, more deadly with this. That'd be cool. So I talked to nobody. I was like, teach me how to be a southpaw. And he's like, okay. And he started like, first get comfortable with your orthodox. Once you become comfortable, we'll start switching with southpaw. And little by little, that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to switch with southpaw right now. See if that works out for me. But we're talking Streetbeefs West Coast wise. My brother Sally, bro. I love Sally, bro. Sally's a beast, bro. Like,
Yes.
really, really sparring him, learning from him, like also liking and Sally. Really, they took me under their wing, bro. Like, they really taught me the ropes more on how to box. Even after a week before the fight, he gave me some advice where it's like, do this, get in the pocket, and try to get him that way. And that's what I did, and I learned from him. I really appreciate him, even though, I know sometimes like him, he's going through a lot right now. So that's why I'm like, but I do learn a lot from him. I love Sadly, my coach, nobody. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you this one thing. It's crazy to say, but I learned more how to box from a non-boxer than an actual boxer himself. Like Coach Nobody, he's a well-rounded fighter, and I learned more from the camp, from businessmen, more of everybody from the camp. Coach Raven, I learned more from them than I did from anybody outside of it. I go to a gym, they're all just very egotistical. We're like teaching their amateurs, and you're just like, well, when am I gonna get something at work? And they're just like looking at you like, oh well, when you're ready. If that makes sense. And
Yeah,
I really like Mark, bro. I like Broke Mark. He's really cool. It was cool cornering him, yo. And it was really cool cornering him. I honestly I wish I could talk to the 619. I wanted to chop it over with him, but we had left at that time. He just got there too when we were leaving. And honestly, also Talk. It was dope meeting Talk, yo. Even though that fight was a war.
Man.
War.
And they lost the footage, bro.
I know they did when they set that on the table. That's crazy.
Man, it was such a classic.
It was a classic. Youth versus like a young king versus the older king. Who takes the crown type.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Who takes the crown? And it was dope. It was crazy because I have his blood on my shoe, bro.
Damn.
I have Talk's blood on my boxing shoe. I'm like,
you got evidence that shit went down.
Yeah, that went down, bro. I was water boy. I see everybody coming to his corner. I'm like, damn, bro, what the hell? Everybody's just trying to talk to him. And then we're all just like, all right, bro, like he needs to hear something, And Coach Nobody, he's like, hey, there's too many voices. And everybody just shuts off right there. And then Blanco comes. He's like, you got to show him some grown man strength, bro. And he's like, you're going to let him do you like that? He's like, fuck no. He gets right back up, bro. And he starts going into with him. And he starts coming back. I'm not going to lie. Like, after that first round, he started coming back. And I was just like, damn, bro, that's a crazy. What is going on?
Talk better never piss off El Shorty, or they will find his DNA at a crime scene. That's all I'm saying. Like, but so my question for you, El Shorty, what's your favorite punch to throw, and what would be your favorite punch to land a knockout with? Like just lights out, shut it down, knockout with.
My left check hook.
Okay.
My left,
because
I got so used to it.
Like, yeah.
I got so used to it. I was trying to do that, and I did. I'm still learning to use my other arsenals, but you know what, bro? If I'm going to be honest, that's the most that I usually get people with, my left check hook. I get people mostly with that, and I'm going to stick to it. So it's like, oh, bam, done and finish. So that would be my favorite. Like, that would be basically my main move right now. But, in the long run, there's going to be more. There's going to be more to the arsenal. You know. What about you, Sam K? What was your favorite fight of the anniversary?
Ooh, favorite fight. I
Top
mean, I think because it's been lost, I got it by default. We gotta throw the Broly talk fight in. Um, yeah, man, we gotta throw that in, and that's a title fight. Yeah. Let's see. I ain't gonna lie to you, the Broke Mark Deploy fight. Uh, I love both of those dudes. You know, I've been watching those guys come up since their first fights. I trained with Deploy before, really liked Mark. And yeah, that fight was crazy. And then, there's kind of like, little areas have their little groups of fighters that fight each other, right? So you got like a certain group of guys from Nevada who've all kind of fought each other, a certain group of heavyweights who've all fought each other, and then you got a certain group of Arizona guys who all fought each other, right? And Broke Mark and Deploy were the last of those Arizona guys, even though Broke Mark's a California guy. All the Arizona guys basically were looking to fight Broke Mark. And Deploy was the last guy. And we finally got that fight. Crazy fight. Man, so many crazy ones. But yeah, that's probably, those are probably the standout ones for me.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. I'm gonna just be honest, biased about it. I wish I stayed a little longer, but it was just crazy. I didn't get to catch the Venom Black with the 619 heavyweight.
Yeah, that was the last fight. Last fight of the day. That was crazy because we had a little controversy before the fight.
Yeah, I was worried about that. I was like, damn, what happened, bro? What happened?
Venom basically 619 was going to get into the ring, and Venom like went to like slam the door, close it, like to shut it on him so he couldn't get in. And I think 619 punched it. Either he punched it or Venom punched it, and it came back and hit 619 in the face. Yeah, 619 gets in, he swings, and all of this is before the fight breaks out, or before the fight starts. So yeah, man, it was crazy. It was a crazy fight.
It was pretty crazy. A lot of fights that should have happened but didn't happen. But
yeah. The Dark and Wama fight was crazy.
The D-Row versus Weapon Man fight was a pretty good fight too. I ain't gonna lie.
Who was it?
How was the footing?
Dyro and who?
Weapon M.
Weapon M. Oh yeah, for sure. Weapon M in the new suit.
The new
and the upgrade
suit.
The upgrade. What'd you say, Jay?
I just asked how the footing was, and the only reason I ask is because the footing, you're like the grip, because in the cornflake fight, it seemed like he was slipping everywhere.
Yeah, he was just rock. He was rock.
Okay.
I mean, he said he had and I looked at his shoes. He had brand new boxing shoes on. Yeah, the footing. I mean, it's the same as the same matting that it's been all year.
Yeah, I just thought of that because I watched that fight today, and then like it did look like, and I know he got rocked. Don't get me wrong, but it did look like either his foot would slide or his knee gave out or something a couple times, and then I know he had a knee issue at the end. Yeah, then he had the knee issue at the end too. Yeah,
his ankle. He broke his ankle at the end.
Oh fuck! He broke his. I thought he said it was his knee when I watched the fight. It was his ankle. Okay.
He thought it was his knee, and then once examining it, it was his ankle.
Oh fuck! Okay, ouch.
But I mean, he admits it. He was like, "Well, he punches hard." Colossus looks like an intimidating person, bro.
Dude, when you make Cornflake look like the smaller guy, that doesn't usually happen, and it was by a good amount. It was like, dude, he is so big.
Yeah, and also too, like he's coming forward. He's coming forward with a lot of pressure. And I don't think Cornflake was necessarily prepared. He kind of admitted that he kind of overlooked him, and he's strong. So you can't deny that. I should have stopped it a little earlier. That would have prevented the ankle. But nonetheless, I think we would have got the end result.
I got to defend you. I don't really think you should have stopped it earlier, and you probably feel like that because of an injury. But that's fucking Cornflake, and you knew it. Like, you've seen this dude go to war.
I mean, you
knew what he could handle, and that's just a fluke accident with the ankle.
Well, what it was I missed the opportunity to call it. There was a moment where I should have called it, and I knew it, but it kind of got chaotic in there because the first 8 count came as Cornflake ran into me. Like, he ran into me, and he like hit me kind of hard. Like, pause. He ran into my forearm, and he hit my forearm quite hard. And I couldn't make out, or immediately after that, he's talking about his eye. So I'm like, I can't decipher truly if it was me or the punch that did that. You know what I mean? So I'm giving him the moment to kind of recoup. And, he's taking more time, so I 8 count him. You hear Colossus in the back, like, that's an 8 count, so I'm 8 counting him. And, he's like, all right, I'm cool. I'm good to go. But as Flake stated in the podcast the other night, he just never got his vision back, But I really don't know if it was me or if it was just a combination of the punch and me or what. But that threw me off in the moment. And obviously it threw him off, and I missed stopping it at the end. I let the time go out. I chose to let the time go out and give him the opportunity to recover during his 1 minute recovery period. And I was prepared to call it on the stool if need be, but he wanted to go out. So my mind frame was, okay, I'll let him out. If he goes immediately down, we're just going to wave it off, because again, we could have waved it off at the end of the first round. But yeah, man, I mean, that's pretty much what that was. And I don't look at the ankle as being me per se. But I definitely play the role in continuing the fight. You know what I mean? That was me and Cornflake's decision, our decision, So I take responsibility for that. But,
I respect that, but I because of what I said, I don't want it to come across like I was dismissing what Colossus did, because that dude was a fucking animal in that fight, and I don't want to like make it sound like I was trying to make excuses or like he didn't deserve that win, because he owned that ring. But yeah, okay.
Yeah. And the good thing about it was, like, all parties were cool at the end. Colossus got his KO with a hell of an outro. Cornflake went out on his shield. You know what I mean? And happier to go out on his shield than to have the fight called early. And then for me, a learning situation, where we look at the future and, we take more precaution, so it worked out in the end,
I did notice you weren't reffing Shorty's fight. I did notice that.
It's because they fought like first.
Yeah,
so
we're the first fight.
I wasn't there yet.
Right.
Thanks for putting me out there, Jay.
I was waiting for you to be like, I was taking a piss. I needed some food. Like, I didn't make it yet. Like, yeah.
No, your boy was on the road.
Nah, after once he showed up, I went up to him. I was like, hey, "What's up, some K? You know, like you just got here." And he's like, "Yeah, man. You know, I'm really getting myself right now. Get together." I was like, "It's all good, bro. At least you're here right now. You know, we're here to enjoy the anniversary event." And I think it was when was it the Chele fight or the Broke Mark fight when you got there?
Oh no, it was way before that.
I think it was before that. Yeah.
It was probably it was like the fight right after the Wedo fight.
Yeah, after that one.
So whatever, I think it was like an MMA match or a kickboxing match right after that.
I think it was a for a belt match. I'm not sure, but yeah, he fell though. He fell down bad. Yeah, I was like, damn, that's crazy.
I can't wait till all the fights get released. That's what I can't wait.
Hey, but Bushido's doing a good job, man.
Well,
putting them out.
I'm not bitching. I know people bitch. I'm not bitching. I'm just excited. People get at him, though, so I don't even want him to feel it. I see it in the group, so I can just imagine what his DMs look like.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. He's a pretty busy man right now. You know.
Yeah. Just had a baby. Well, no, I think the baby's like almost a year now. So.
Oh, definitely. Congratulations.
But even still, that's busy. Busy.
Okay, I don't mean to be an ass or rub it in. You know how brutal it's got to be to edit your own video when you take an L?
Damn.
And you don't want to disrespect the other fighter either. Like, so you got to make sure you edit it well. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that's got to be a rough one. Shout out Zed for.
Yeah, shout out Zed, yo. It's just crazy. Like to that, I was like that. I even thought about. He's really about to edit our fight. I just won. How is that gonna make me look? Is he gonna be like, what am I gonna do? But he's a good sport.
He's a humble dude though. The one time I met him, every compliment you gave him, he like almost couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? He's so humble. He's
right back to you. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, man, you did this, And he'd ask me, I even contacted him after, like, how you feeling? He's like, yeah, I feel good, bro. How about yourself? I'm like, yeah, He asked me like that. I'm pretty sure I got you a few times. Like, oh yeah, bro. Like you got me a few times. You got me with the uppercut, with the hook, and then you made me like almost want to freeze. But in the corner, as soon as the first round ended, I went to my corner, and literally Chela's telling me like, breathe in, breathe out. Thankfully I had my team there. I had Talk right there. It was the first time, like, and that was my first time meeting Talk, And people don't know, but I actually sparred Talk like the night before. So it was really crazy, like sparring Talk, like having to see like from a person that's of his weight class and on his skill level, like sparring me. I was like, damn, like I was not about to go like be there and do some funny shit. I was actually gonna go and do business with him right there. I
have a video of Talk and Jay Gotham sparring, and you can feel the sound from their punches.
Oh, damn, that's crazy. But Talk's cool, man. It was cool meeting him. And when I got to my corner, literally Chela tells me, like, breathe in, breathe. And I start breathing. Meanwhile, I'm breathing, bro. I'm praying. I'm like, bro, please don't let me freeze. Don't let me freeze, please. Like, do not let me freeze right here. Let me continue the fight. And I take a little big ass breath, like, all right, let's go. And I go right back in there. And I see Zed still over there. I was like, what's going to happen next? Am I going to freeze right here or am I going to continue? And in my head, I'm like, I'm going to continue. I'm going to go for this fight. I'm going to win for this fight.
Yeah, never give in, man. Never give in. Because, it's crazy. No matter what the other guy looks like, he might be feeling the exact same way. You know what I'm saying? And it's only a matter of time, Well,
even for us short fighters, when we're there's people that are like, oh, I don't care, I'm gonna just do it, even though you're short. Like, there's people like short like me that I get nervous, yo. I still get nervous in every fight. Like, you don't know what you're gonna go up against. You don't know who you're gonna go up against. You don't know what's the outcome out of it. So, me being a short fighter, I kind of feel like I have to prove myself a lot more. That I'm able to bang with the big guys too, and I have to work. I feel like I have to work double for it because all my opponents are taller than me, bro. Let's be real. All my opponents are bigger than me, yo. And I have to literally like find a way to get in. I can't just fight the distance. I can't keep my distance from the person, because if not, I'm just playing. I'm getting into his range. I'm letting him all the chess pieces, and me, I'm just there like just falling apart. So for me, I have to really like learn how to get in the pocket. If that's the first thing I have to do. I need to learn how to get more in the pocket and start attacking within.
Well, before we get out of here, there's no way we can get out of this show without talking about Canelo and Crawford. And thank you. I want to thank both of them for my underdog account. I really appreciate you both. So thank you, Canelo and Crawford.
Damn, man. Hey, you know what?
I should have betted, but
Hey, man, me too, bro. But I feel like I would have lost everything. I would have lost everything except the Martinez fight. But you know what? At the end of the day, if we're gonna speak facts, yes, Canelo lost. Crawford was the better man. Crawford was a better boxer. He outboxed him in the majority of every round. He frustrated him to the point where he just put his hands down. He frustrated him enough to really get into his head and him not wanting to do it. So if people are saying that he sold himself for it, I don't think so. I don't think he sold himself, because if that's the case, he wouldn't even have been throwing like that. He wouldn't have gotten frustrated and really gone in and wanting to bang with him in the – what round was it? What's his 11th round when he was really banging with him?
he had a couple moments here and there, mid round, later rounds.
Well, and the fact that Crawford stood there and banged with him at the end, too, I was like, I get you're a fighter, but I literally had Crawford up like 7 rounds. I'm like, I don't know because at the end I had it 9-3. So in the 12th round, I'm like, I don't know why you're standing there just throwing with him, but that's what fighters do, right? Like, I'm like,
you're closing the show. It's a situation where to people who know, Crawford has overwhelmingly won, but at this point, Crawford has to beat the judges, or he loses the fight, right?
Yeah.
And I have to close the show. I have to get the crowd, going. And I have to get to a point where I'm undeniable, And if you look at the scores, the judges' scorecards, they were ready to steal this fight from him.
Damn, bro. You see, everybody's face was sad because how much money everybody lost for betting on Canelo. I think it's a Drake curse.
Thank you, Underdog Sports. I'd like to thank you again. If we need a sponsor, if you'd like to sponsor somebody, Underdog, we love you.
but Shorty, I feel like that was like almost too easy of a math problem to solve. Like that seemed like almost common sense that Crawford would win. I don't know what spell Canelo has over people.
They kept saying the size, and I'm like, have you guys watched Bud fight? I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to lie. I thought Bud was going to win, but I think it was going to be in that like manner or that dominating of a fact. I didn't. I thought it'd be closer than it was.
Yeah.
But I don't think like Canelo like threw it or anything. I just think he wasn't ready for the Bud that showed up.
Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, like he said, for when Canelo said, he said on himself, I had a good camp, I just couldn't figure him out. And that's the thing with Bud. Not just because he's a southpaw, but he knows how to move around. He knows how to switch his stances, And from my opinion, I feel like Canelo had many opportunities to cut him in the corner.
Oh, for sure.
And, and start banging with him there. There was no need to just cut him in the corner and then just go back. Or where he's a counter master. He's a counter puncher. He had many opportunities also to counter punch him as well, and he didn't. He didn't do it. So
this is great for Bud though, because he finally gets some shine, and that's what I'm happy for Crawford for. Is that he gets that shine because the dude's been a dog his whole career. You know what I mean? So it made me exciting for boxing, and. This is going to sound funny, but I'm dead serious. Outside of Streetbeefs matches, not much makes me exciting for boxing anymore. So this fight had me excited for boxing.
Oh, the whole card was dope. Yeah. It was a great night of fights, great main card. you know, and let me be clear, Canelo is a great fighter.
Almost definitely.
Oh yeah.
He's one of the greats. Bud is just a better boxer, you know, and you know, for me it was clear. You know, the fight made it pretty clear. And man, can we real quick? Let me not mispronounce his name. Mbili, and the Guatemalan. That was
Martinez. Yeah,
that
Martinez.
was man. That was a crazy fight.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought the Canelo fight. That's what I expected the Canelo and Crawford fight to be. How the undercard was.
Nah.
But at the same time, I didn't because these are two master classes at their craft.
Yeah.
Like, it was always going to be a chess match, but damn, man, it was really crazy. Like, it broke me, but at the same time, I was happy for Crawford because I was like, he earned it. He outboxed him. He outboxed him, and nobody's going to say, oh, he sold the fight. No, he outboxed him. Facts are facts. And
I'm not gonna lie though. I had a bet of Canelo making it 31 and a half minutes, and I kept going, do not knock him out. Do not knock him out.
most definitely.
Yeah, I never saw a knockout for either guy.
There was a couple times where Canelo's head spun, and I was like, don't you do it. Like,
oh, with the yeah, definitely. That's the one that was like, oh, damn. He ate
Scorp, they call that one a draw. Yeah, man. Shit, man. I could ask you several more questions, man, but I know we're running out of time. Real quick, bro, if you want to give the people any shout outs, any plugins or socials, now would be the time.
Man, first and most, I want to shout out Team 50/50. Shout out to all of my team members. Shout out Coach Nobody, Sadly, my brother Sadly, brother Businessman, brother Coach Raven, All Father, Lycan, Morph, you know, the whole Team 50/50, you know, Duva, he's going to end up coming back.
I saw that.
He's going to end up coming back. And you know what? I'm excited to get in training with him also. And you know what? BDW, I want to get a whole shout out to all of you guys. Shalom K, you know, having me here, this opportunity. I've been a fanboy of everybody, you as well. The whole podcast, I never miss a podcast. Hard in the Fight. You know what? Follow me on Instagram, cosmic.nava. And you know what? We're keep training and we're gonna keep coming. And for all the fighters out there, start training because I'm coming.
You heard the man. Hey, well, we appreciate you, man. It's been a phenomenal show. El Shorty, everybody.
El Shorty, everybody.
Thank you again, man. Man, that was a great show.
Absolutely, man. Another phenomenal guest. Phenomenal show.
Oh, a lot has gone on with the anniversary, so we still have more shit to come for, you know, the next couple of weeks, which is awesome too. And I keep hearing stuff from the anniversary, which makes me like, oh, I got to see that fight. You know, so the way, but like Zed's doing great, but I'm one of those like, give me them all and I'm just going to binge watch it like I'm on Netflix for a weekend, you know, but I know they have to edit them and shit.
I mean, there may be first access. You can purchase the first access, where it's all just the raw footage that Daniel puts out. You can hit up Daniel and see if they have first access. I'm not sure if they did one or not.
I can hit him up, or I'm sure on the community and Heart in the Fight YouTube it'd be posted if they did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you keep hearing whispers, and then I'm getting second and third hand shit, right? So I get a message from like one of the Streetbeefs fighters who wasn't there, but they're like, "Hey, did you hear this fight was a banger?" And I'm like, "No, like, you know what happened?" It's like, "I don't know. I just heard this. I was wondering what you heard." And I'm like, "Oh no, you're the first one to tell me, but now I can't wait to see it."
Hey, classics went down that day. We got classics already posted. We got more being dropped. Yeah, man, a lot of fights still. A lot of interviews and a lot of fights to go through.
Yeah, it was. I'm excited though. It makes for like, you know, you get on YouTube and you're like, oh shit, I can watch this now, because I don't know about you guys, but I get sucked into YouTube or like Reels way too easily.
Pause.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The rabbit hole is deep.
All right. Well, should we get up out of here, Sam K, and do some shout outs?
It's about that time, man. Shout out to El Shorty. We appreciate you, sir, and your time. Everyone go check out his fights. That's El Shorty. His other 2 fights are under the name The Saint. Go check them out. Thank you for your time, bro. Jay, appreciate you, man. Great co-host, greatest producer. We do this. Shout out to Streetbeefs, OG Yard, The Scrap Yard, West Coast, Dirty South. We do this for y'all. Heart in the Fight, appreciate you. Overtime Hustling Magazine, appreciate you. Zoel World, still appreciate you. And everyone live on playback, appreciate y'all. Comment section, appreciate y'all. And yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Well, Sam K, I appreciate you always holding it down and finding the best guests, and it's always a good time. Shout out Buddy V, Zoel. You can go get that merch over there at Zoel.com. And right after this show, well, they're never on time, so let's call it 10-ish Eastern. We're going to have Winging It coming up, so make sure you check that out. And sports are on and popping again, so the channel's on and popping. So just make sure you tune in, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification, and you won't miss shit. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. One world, one love. Deuces.